Well, here we are at Gold Bar Waterfall, and right up there you can hear the customer going that way, heading up. Yeah. So anyway, come out here, had to bring him some fuel and get his machine. He left it here last night. Search and rescue had to come out and get him. They got turned around, this and that. So anyway, but I pulled up here and we pulled up right there and I heard a pop, and sure enough, there went the leaf spring. And so it's just not been a good day for the tow truck. I found a broken front leaf spring and then came out here and then that one snapped. But I've got my little slick tools that I fix it with, so we'll show you what we got going on here. And get some tools out and get to it. Okay, so first I'm gonna air the airbag up on this side. See if I can get it to pick high enough without having to get a jack out or anything. It looks like that ought to do it. Anyway, so now these handy little things that I carry on the truck, these are actually leaf spring shackles, but we're going to use them to clamp it back in place. So I got my bolts out and all that fun stuff. Yes, it is. Yeah. Alrighty, so there we are. Since she's clamped back together, so it will drive off the trail and get us out of here. So, like I said, that is why I have all these parts and pieces and bins on top of the truck that hold everything, just in case. Here we go. So, I am very well aware that I'm going to catch a bunch of hell for my broken leaf spring. And I'm going to have to listen to all the comments of, see, you should link it, you should go coilovers, you should link it, you should. Yeah, well, you know how many coilover rigs I carry out a year? From broken coilovers, from broken control arm mounts, from broken. So, I carry my clamps to clamp it back together, and I am driving out on a broken leaf spring that's clamped together right now. And I'm not cutting it any slack, and I'm not driving nicely. And it hasn't moved. Because I've already gone through this and found a way to deal with it should it happen. And like I said, these leaf springs, when I put them in the rear, they were used 2 years ago when I put them in. I want to say it's been about 2 years. And that's some pretty heavy abuse that these things see. just from work, from me being a moron and drag racing my friends with it, with the new motor and all that stuff. Like I said, you know, a lot of people are, some people have commented in the comments about my clutch, about how it went out or how I replaced the clutch a lot. I've replaced a few clutches, but I've only ever broke one. Anytime I'm in that far, like I said, when I broke the bell housing and I put a new bell housing in, I changed the clutch. Why wouldn't you? You're that far in. So then when I had it out that I third gear had gone out in the transmission, so I put a new transmission in it, put a new clutch in it. Another time, the adapter broke between the transmission transfer case. So I put a new clutch while I was that far into it. And when I did the motor, I put a new clutch. I've never pulled a clutch out that was shot that needed replaced, but when it's that, with the work that this truck sees, you know, and it's an old Chevy truck, so 100, 150 bucks for a clutch, new throwout bearing, new pressure plate, all that. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're that far into it, absolutely put a new clutch in it. So the one I broke a couple months ago, the clutch that went out, that was all me. Ever since I put this new motor in, I have been driving like a moron, ripping through the sand dunes and just putting way too much pressure on it. Like I said, trying to do burnouts with dualies. I don't recommend. But drag racing, a buddy of mine that has a tow truck, he put a built motor in his, so we were drag racing and playing around. That's hard on the clutch when your rig weighs almost 8,000 pounds. Like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. So it's the same way with the leaf springs. Like, I'll take that as a fail point. So leaf spring breaks, cool, fine. I've got those clamps, I carry the bolts, clamp it back together, drive it out, like I'm doing right now. So drive it out, go home, I've got a spare spring, I'll throw it in, no problem. Funny because I called Alcan Spring this morning, because I run their springs on the front, and I said, hey, I noticed a broken leaf spring, can I get a spare set built? And he said, yeah, I'll see if I can find your paperwork so that we can spec it out to build the same spring. I said, all right, cool. And he called me back right as I was repairing the rear spring that I just found that's broken. So the front one's fine. I can drive on that. It's just one of yours cracked. No big deal. Like I said, I prefer running leaf springs, because even if they fail, they have to fail catastrophically, which I've never had them break where I couldn't get them out. Whether I weld them back together, then clamp them. This one didn't really see it doesn't see the weight. It's not the front of the leaf spring, so it's not locating the axle. It's just on the back, so that's just the ride. So clamped it together, out we go. So that's my take on it. I mean, leaf springs are old tech. They don't ride that great. They're kind of rough, but dang it, they get the job done. And I have my airbags to help carrying the weight and all that stuff. And it works. So I think I'm going to put some new leaf springs on the rear, and this will be my first official set of new. So we'll see how long those last. If nothing else, I'm good at testing stuff. Yeah, still holding together. She'll get to the truck, load her up, head to the shop. Grab this. A nifty little trick that I do is These aren't regular nuts right here. These are lug nuts, like off a mid-2000 Dodge or whatever, that have the built-in washer, so you can torque those to 110 foot-pounds, and it doesn't tear up this or gall anything or whatever, and you can really torque them down, and they hold everything in there good and straight, and I like the heck out of them. So that's why, a little nifty little trick I do. Anyway, I am gonna cry a little bit because I've never left it at a shop. I've never left it at a shop or anywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna cry a little bit.
Well, that makes me feel good.
Here we are at Alcan Springs in Grand Junction, Colorado. That's whose leaf springs I run on the front of the truck. So they are gonna build me a set for the rear after I broke my last spare the other day out on a trail. So, broke that one, put my last spare in to get by, and been running it for about a week and a half. So they're gonna build me a custom set of rears. And I know everybody comments, link it up, go coilovers. I want my truck to work and recover things, so I stick with leaf spring. So here we are. Like I said, you need anything leaf spring related, these guys are it. Woohoo!